Welcome everybody to the greatest Kiwanis club in the world. I'm Steve Bureau, your stand-in today. Greg is up north in South Bend, I think. But I'd like to ask everybody to please stand and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now Greg Silver will have a thought of the day. Please sit down.
I'll speak up. It seems like just yesterday it was winter. So today, I got a few laughs out. Got a few laughs out of that one. All right. So with all the turmoil in our country, I think I found one of my poems that's appropriate for today. And it's, when we outside right now, the cardinals are just singing their heads off. I don't know if you've heard them in the morning and the afternoon in my yard, and even in the evening. So I interviewed a cardinal. Why I sing as a cardinal at 8 a.m. Hello, I'm a cardinal and I live near you. Many hear me and ask why I sing. I sing because I enjoy it. I sing because it is a beautiful day. I sing because I'm glad to be alive. I sing because I love trees. I sing because doves and wrens do too. I sing to create harmony among all. Might repeat that line. I sing to create harmony among all. I sing because where I live there is food. I sing because the air and water are clean. I sing because you will get to know me in the morning, afternoon, and evening, and know my ancestors sang like me for eons. It is a family tradition. I must go now, the sun is setting, and I must be up at dawn to sing.
Thanks, Greg. Now I'd like to recognize our guests today. We have Chuck Bennett from Speedway High School, Jim Martin from Meridian Company, guest of his father-in-law, Bob, and then Laura. Oh, sorry. Laura's
Okay.
Laura.
This is our Meridian High School Key Club faculty advisor for how many years? 4 years of dedication. She has led the club so well. I mean, we are so happy to have her as our faculty advisor. Melanie Gonzalez. And then we have 3 leaders here, all newly elected last month. Dylan Crosby, wait, everybody there. That's our Lieutenant Governor for the Rose Division. She's also a student at Meridian. Esther Parr and Simon Vick. Those are co-presidents. So they are here to see what Kiwanis is about and hopefully feel welcome and everything. So thanks.
Thanks, Laura. Welcome. Now I'd like to ask Sandy Lynch from the Northwest Indy Club to come up for an announcement.
Okay, I just found out that I need to talk about our annual fundraiser, so thank you. I love the thing about the Cardinals. Our annual fundraiser, and I should know this, but I just joined Kiwanis 3.5 years ago, so I'm still kind of a newbie. So I don't know how long we've had our annual fundraiser, and we've called it JESSS, but it stands for Jeff Vesley, who used to be a member who passed away, 10 years ago maybe. And the SSS stands for Sip, Savor, and Spend. It's really kind of a party. We have one of our local members is very musical. He plays 6 or 7 different instruments. His daughter sings and plays keyboard. So we have music, we have an auction, both a silent and a live, and we have dinner at the Indianapolis Country Club. The tickets are $90 a piece. We'd love to have all of you come and join us on Saturday, April 26th. So you can sign up online at our website. I go to yours all the time. Ours is not nearly as good as yours, but you can at least buy tickets. But I'd like to promote that, and we have a lot of wonderful things that we contribute to all year long, just like you do. The list of it is in your paper there. Those are just a few of the things we do. We do far more than that, but it all goes for the kids. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Amy. And now Mary Bull would like to present some awards to members.
Yes, so we have 2 people here who have had perfect attendance. If you could come up, please. Mary Marsh.
I don't have a certificate.
Or to be recognized. Chuck, come on up.
Only because of Zoom.
So Chuck, perfect attendance 13 years. Yay. But Mary has you beat by 10 years. 23 years of perfect attendance. So a round of applause for both of them. Tickets?
Oh,
Yeah.
my husband and I have 2 tickets for tasers tonight that we would love to give to somebody. If you are interested, please let me know. If you have a Ticketmaster account, we'll send them. The price is right.
Pacers are on a roll.
Let me say first, if anybody's interested, nobody sort of squirmed in their seat and said, oh, really?
Just a brief announcement, next Thursday is the 79th annual IHSAA Boys Basketball Finals Luncheon at Cambridge Fieldhouse, and it will be in the atrium of the Fieldhouse. Great venue. We had the girls event there just a few weeks ago, and our great partners, the IHSAA, are here today for another presentation, and so look for sign up for tickets on our website, and the lunch is open to Kiwanis and guests. Good luck to our local teams that are still in it: Crispus Attucks, Lawrence North, Mount Vernon, New Palestine, and Fishers. Go Fishers. So, I will be in Elkhart rooting the Fishers on. 70 years ago yesterday, Crispus Attucks, coached by Ray Crow, led on the floor by Oscar Robertson, became the first all African-American school to win a state tournament in the United States. And they won 97-74 over Gary Roosevelt. And we honored them at Cambridge. The governor presented Sagamores of the Wabash to the starting 5. Oscar was in absentia in 2015? Yeah. Yeah. So now Roger Cummings.
Let Mary go back up first.
Oh, let Mary come back up? Okay.
So, we do social suppers, so, on Wednesday, April 2nd, social supper, we're expanding, we're going to Carmel, and it's going to be at Juniper on Main, 5:30 there, so email me, text, let me know if you're coming, so I can lock in the reservation. And we'd like to welcome William Wozniak from Invested to speak about financial aid on April the 10th by Zoom, and Bob Bryant for the 500 Festival on May 1st by Zoom. We have a great relationship with the Salvation Army, so on April 24th, if you're interested, drop in for coffee and donuts at the division headquarters up near Castleton. They're preparing blessing bags for the residents of the Harbor Light Center. So you can participate in that if you'd like.
Very good. Thanks, Mary. Now Roger would like to discuss the Indiana District Mid-Year Conference.
That's something else I know nothing about. It is this weekend. It's our mid-year for the Kiwanis, Indiana District. It's going to be on the north side of town. Laura Holloway, Tom Eubank, and myself planning to attend, and Mary Lechner is going. All right, great. So 4 of us. I don't know if anybody else is planning on it. Should be interesting. There's some stuff tomorrow, which I'll be going to, children's fund stuff. And then Saturday is the big day, we present our check to the foundation. Kiwanis have committed to raising $1 million over the next 4 years to establish the accessible mental health services for kids and teens in Indiana. And we are proud to be a part of this. That's where that money goes to Riley. Last October, we visited Riley to see the commemorative brick honoring our club, which wasn't there, but I hope it is now. We also support Riley patients with the adaptive equipment program, and our foundation has just purchased another trike this week for a young lady, a 14-year-old girl who struggles, so we were able to get this to her. At least it's ordered. She'll be here probably a couple weeks in time for spring. So thanks to Bill DuBois, Tom Dunham, and the foundation for continuing to support this great effort. And then the last thing I'll say is we've become an eating club, so on April the 7th is lunch at IHSAA's. So let me know. Thank you.
Thanks, Roger. And now Laura Hollowell would like to discuss the Key Clubbers at Perry. And as many of you know, this is the 100th year for Key Club.
Yes.
So take a
Yes,
look.
so I think you guys all are aware that Key Club is the world's oldest and largest service organization for high school students. And oldest meaning 100 years, so 1925, if you can imagine. It looks quite different now than it did then, and we're very happy for that. So we are all rallying together. Key clubs, Kiwanis clubs that sponsor Key clubs all around the world are rallying together to support the Youth Opportunities Fund. That is a fund that goes right back to the communities where Key clubs. So we give out grants of about $2,000 to Key clubs and help them with their projects, basically. So this club's foundation was gracious enough to be able to donate $1,925 for 1925, a donation for this birthday club campaign. So we are very grateful for that, and that will make a big impact, as you can imagine, in the Indiana district and in Key Club International. So yeah, and I just wanted to bring the people that I work with at the Perry Meridian Key Club here to help them see what Kiwanis is like, and also they didn't know about that big donation that will be made in our name, so that's a big deal. So yeah.
So thank you for your service. The Perry Meridian Key Club. It's been a while since I've been to lunch.
Yeah.
So how's Lou Drexler doing?
Oh, he's doing good. He said he might be able to be here, but yeah, Melanie just said he's awesome. He's at every board meeting that the club.
He drives his truck on there.
Yeah.
For
The homecoming.
for the homecoming parade.
Yeah.
Are you guys having a signature project?
We have a lot of projects. I don't know. Do we have a signature?
I can talk about a few if you want.
Yes, please. Yeah. Can you come up here
Yes,
with me?
no problem. I'm a teacher, so I have no problem talking.
Use your teacher voice.
No, I want to thank Laura and Kim Peters that brought me into this world. I am from Puerto Rico, and I came here to States in 2017, and I got to Perry Meridian, and I think that Key Club made me feel like at home, because I am like raised in doing community service, volunteering, and I have to be like active. I always tell the kids I have ants in my pants. I have to be doing something. But at Key Club, we've done a lot of things this year. We raised money for Love Michael. We raised money for Riley. We raised money for UNICEF. This year, we are hoping to do the Thirst Project, which I know that we need to participate a little bit more here in the Indiana district. And Lou helps us a lot. He's always there giving advice about how to do things in the treasuring world, and giving ideas on how to organize. Connecting us with the Southport Club
and also with the some projects with the YMCA, and for example, connecting with the community that we do every year in November. So it's been a blessing to feel like I am able to contribute something and to help these kids get inspired. So we wouldn't be able to make it without you. So Fall Rally, DLC, those activities are the ones that wow the students. So they stay in the club with us and they keep working hard. So I am really very thankful for all the support all the time.
Definitely. And Melanie's at all of these projects and you just kind of hit the fundraisers. I mean, there's the food bank. What's the name of the food bank?
Well, we help at Midwest Food Bank. We help at Impact Center at least twice a month. We, in addition to go and volunteer in the food pantry, we do collect donations. So this January we collected over 30 big packs of diapers. On February we collected shampoo and conditioner for them as well. We just collected a little bit under $1,000 for Beacon of Hope in last week before we went to break. So yes, we don't do big numbers, but we try to be there doing something, and I feel very proud because they do everything. I'm just there funneling the ideas, and that's it. So good applause for the kids.
Yes.
Thank you.
So if you, want to be involved even more, this is just Perry Meridian High School Key Club, but Shortridge, brand new Arsenal Tech, Speedway, we're always looking for more Kiwanis members to step up and help out in any way that you can. So keep that in mind, and they couldn't be here because they're in school right now. It just so happens that this is the spring break for Perry Meridian, but reach out to me, Roger, of course Kelly, if you have any interest in doing anything more with our wonderful SLP.
And we do have more than 100 members, so we always need hours to give to them. So.
Yes.
Thanks, Laura.
I wasn't on the agenda, but
Oh.
I'll just say something.
Yes, yes,
Before you.
why not? Yeah.
Sorry. No, fine.
New member, Mary Lechner.
Yes, thank you.
Clarksville International. Yes.
I'll be quick, just a few minutes. So many of you guys know that I work for Kiwanis at the Children's Foundation. As a good employee, it is my obligation to address my home club with a fundraising appeal for our newest campaign, which is the Possibility Project. So just a little bit about the Children's Fund. We help Kiwanis clubs serve the children of the world and children in their community by providing grants for their service projects. A lot of clubs don't have the funding or the resources, but they see needs in their community, and they are able to apply for grants to do more service in their community. So our past campaign was the Eliminate Project, and clubs were really influential in fundraising $110 million to eliminate neonatal tetanus in over 50 countries. And I just want to give a shout out to this club, because how the fundraising worked is that clubs set a 5-year fundraising pledge towards a goal. And I want to shout out this club because we were the #1 club in the Indiana district in terms of fundraising, and our club fundraised $200,000 towards the Eliminate Project. So I'm here to again make an appeal for our newest campaign, which is the Possibility Project. It's our goal to fundraise $25 million, and that's going to allow us to drastically expand our grant programs to impact over 10 million children worldwide wherever a Kiwanis club exists. So the really cool thing about this campaign is that it's Kiwanians supporting Kiwanians. We're very fortunate in this club to have resources to do amazing things in the community, and I'm so proud to be a member of this club that's doing great things. But how wonderful would it be if our club stepped up to make a commitment to support other Kiwanis clubs so that they can do amazing service projects in their community as well. So I am making an appeal that our club does make another fundraising pledge for this campaign, and that would give us the recognition status of an impact club. And so how it works, it's a per member giving average to become an impact club, and it's calculated by $100 per member 1 year for over a 5-year pledge. But I know that sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, and we fundraised a lot in the past. But the incredible news is, for us, based on our membership average, our pledge would be $42,000 over 5 years. But the really cool news is that just within the last couple of years, we've already been fundraising towards that goal and have already reached $28,000 just due to our generous foundation and some really generous members in the club as well. So that means we only have $13,000 left to complete our goal. That's meant to be a 5-year goal. So I want to challenge us to step up and start thinking about, as we're budgeting for the next year, what can individuals do and what can our club foundation do to, I think, really surpass our goal. And just throw a little competition in there too. There's only currently 2 impact clubs in Indiana, and I would love for us to join that as well and be one of the first in the district. So our competitors right now are the historic Newburgh Club and the Evansville Green River Club. So Evansville Green River is currently in the lead, but as my home club and as an employee for the foundation, I want to see us be the #1 club in the district again. And again, not only for bragging rights, but just really being, representing the district as stepping up to support our Kiwanis brothers and sisters and help clubs, not only in this district, but wherever a Kiwanis club exists in the world to do more in their community. So I brought some flyers and some information about the campaign and our fundraising goals, so come see me, and I hope we can work together to strategize the next several months about what our goal can look like. So, thank you.
Thanks, Barry. That sounds like a good topic for a future presentation too, I think. And now our current Kiwanis Foundation of Indianapolis president would like to make an announcement about another award.
Yes, so I'd like Jenny Evans to come on up. We've had the foundation for 75 years, so for that anniversary, we gave out Angel Awards, and one of the recipients is the Julian Center. And so Jenny's gonna take 2 or 3 minutes and tell us what she's gonna do with all the funds.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jenny Evans. I'm the development manager at the Julian Center. On a personal note, being invited here is a great honor. I was a member of my Key Club 25 years ago at Ben Davis High School. So it was great. It started my realm into public service and philanthropy, so definitely a great opportunity. So the Julian Center is the largest domestic violence shelter in Indiana. In your recent gift over the next 3 years of $75,000, it's going to a lot of different projects that we have in the works. A couple I just want to touch on today, with the Angel gift focusing on youth. I believe at our last census within our emergency shelter, we had about 60 to 65 adults and about 48 children. So we have an emergency shelter, we have community programs, we have advocates that help our survivors and their families, build self-sufficiency. So that's where these funds are going. This past year, we hired a youth enrichment manager, and that's helped to build our youth program exponentially. Some of the things that we have used the funding for and look forward to is with our youth program, we have different holiday events in shelter. Our youth enrichment manager has developed different camps. So when the kids are out on school break, something for them to do. We had a blizzard bash during winter break, and then we have Camp Flower Power starting next week for 2 weeks while the youth are out of school. So we're always looking for supplies and things to help offset that. Also, our survivors participate in self-sufficiency program. We also offer assistance with legal services, financial literacy courses, job readiness, tutoring service through Brightland. They come in and volunteer so our children don't fall behind in school as they're dealing with traumatic and healing. And different different empowerment groups for our survivors. So ensuring a safe environment for our survivors is crucial. We've also been able to make some much needed therapeutic improvements to various shelter areas to provide a more welcoming and therapeutic space for everyone seeking safety within our shelter. One other project that we're looking forward to is creating journey packs for the youth. This would be a bag or a tote of some kind that has like a blanket, stuffed animal, fidget toys, coloring books, activity packs, things that they can take with them when their family member is going to like court hearings or appointments, just to keep them busy and comfortable, and then they can take those home when they find a safe place upon leaving the shelter. So on behalf of our president and CEO, Jeff Brown, I'm attending in his stead. We thank you for your support. If anyone would like to set up a date to come and tour our shelter and kind of see where, you know, the money is going, feel free to let me know. You all have my contact information. And we welcome all of you to come see what great things that your gift has provided and will provide for survivors and their families. So, thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. Boy, you know, when we meet in person once a month, it seems like a race to get through all the things that we're doing. But now we're to the main part of the program, and I want to introduce our partners from the IHSAA. Most of you know that for years, the Kiwanis Club and Foundation has supported high school sports, the football program, basketball program, and the Female Athlete Award, which we added about 10 years ago. But we also do external grants, and I think our folks at the IHSAA Foundation are going to talk about one of those that really impacts our support of them being able to facilitate high school sports. And I'd like to invite up Chris Kaufman. He oversees day-to-day operations, including development and fundraising efforts to support programs and the distribution of scholarships and grants. He has spent nearly his entire career involved in youth athletics as a football coach. He may even still hold the record for most points scored in Howard County.
I believe that's still true.
It is, okay.
Go Tigers.
And he joined IHSAA in 2006 and has served as IHSAA's assistant commissioner since 2012. Chris, and Kiwanian.
Yes, absolutely. Before you turn over to the interesting part of this, and I'll get it to Tripp here in a second, I want to take a moment to thank Kiwanis. We are members of Kiwanis because we believe in it and because we do share a couple common passions. Number one, student athletes, and number two, community. Those two aspects are what the IHSAA is all about. And we want to help kids, and we want strong communities. I've often said when we went to class sports actually took a little hit on communities. They travel further now to play games. It was in the idea of fairness, but when we had one class systems, there was a lot of community involved because all the schools that competed were around each other. Now they're all different size, so they tend to go, and you lose a little community, but we do a lot of things that are based on community. A couple fun facts about the IHSAA, just to let you know. We are a privately funded organization. We receive no tax dollars from anything. We return to our schools over $3 million a year. In fact, we are the #1 state out of all of our United States that returns that amount of money to their schools, to help schools. And it gets returned in the way of reimbursement for competing. We don't charge a membership fee, we don't charge tournament entry fees, and then we return $3 million to schools. We're very proud of that. That's what we want to do, that's what we will continue to do. We started a foundation a few years ago. We're a young foundation. We're learning to grow, but the idea of the foundation, and Tripp will get into the specifics of it, but it's to support what we do. And we're on the front lines of some situations that need some help. Officiating is a big thing. We're having trouble finding officials, so we have to train them, we have to recruit them, and doing that takes resources. And so the foundation is there to provide resources. And then he'll get into some of the others, but the bottom line is I wanted to thank you for what you do because we believe in that. We believe in community, and you help kids, and that is what we both share a passion. I want to thank Steve. He recruited me to become a Kiwanian, okay, as well as our commissioner and Tripp. So we are all fellow Kiwanians, and we are proud to be that. So thank you very much, and I want to introduce Tripp Lukemeyer. Tripp came to us how many years ago, Tripp?
Maybe 23.
Tripp was the youngest to interview to work and lead our foundation. And I will tell you this, Tripp's energy is, it rubs off on you. He does a lot for what we do. He has a passion for what he does, and we could not be happier to have him. So I give you Tripp Lukemire.
Thank you. And just to put a bow on that, I am still the second youngest in the entire organization, so I'm still just a baby. So that's why they send the freshmen, a little bit of hazing to go do all the presentations as well. So that's why that's completely a joke. We do not condone hazing in the slightest. Okay, a couple updates. My name is Tripp Lukemire. A couple things you need to know about me is I'm from Bloomington, Indiana, so I'm a big Hoosiers fan. I am not wearing black. Yep, I'm not wearing black for Purdue. I am sorry. This is because of the death of one of my favorite coaches, Mike Woodson, and his tenure within the Hoosiers. So, yeah. The other thing with that is, since I was raised in Bloomington, I was always around education, both at the collegiate level and at the high school level. So there's a large part of my life that I wanted to become a professor, which means I'm very comfortable, very similar to you, speaking in front of people, talking, and the most important piece, and I bet you'll back me up on this, is interaction. So there's going to be a piece of this where I'm going to ask you to interact with me, give me your thoughts on this, and so we can have more of a discussion. Does that seem fair? All right. I want to start off with one of my favorite quotes of all time. Whether you know it and whether you like it, the habits that you are forming today are going to be the fundamental pieces for the rest of your life. That's by John Wooden. It's a quote that one of his players, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, still says today. And I think that's very important when it comes to education-based athletics in the IHSAA, because we are the second classroom. Arithmetic, history, geography, those are all very important. But some of the skills that youth need in order to become the next leaders in our generation can be learned in athletics and other extracurriculars. So very similar to what John was talking about. We are helping develop those next leaders and instilling those qualities, those characteristics that we talked about. So this is the interactive part of this speech. What emotions do you get here? What emotions do you think these students are having? What characteristics, what qualities are they learning from this snapshot of a state championship game? I will call on people if no one wants to volunteer, so please let me know. What do you got? Passion. I love it. Anything else?
Extra effort.
Beautiful.
This is gonna hurt.
I guarantee you that's true.
Being dauntless or having less fear.
Yes, I love that. Courageousness. It's awesome. I always think of instilling some sort of determination, being able to see an obstacle and look at a different way of going about it. Home plate is somewhere over here, as you guys know, with baseball and softball. So he's going up and above. That's not typical with baseball, which is, probably a novel concept, but it's true. So next picture here. What do we see in this one? I'll start off. Communication. That is a high schooler communicating with people that are much her seniors. What else do people see?
Camaraderie.
Love it.
Respect.
Perfect.
Civility.
I haven't heard that one yet. I like that one.
Good sportsmanship.
Sports, that's another great one.
Joy.
Joy. I missed who said that, but thank you. Yeah. Again, someone much their elder, when they look at their next job coming out of college or whatever it might be, they're going to be working with people of different age brackets. And so this is a good way for them to be able to get some of those skills. I don't have a couple more, but this is one of my favorites. Different here. What do you guys see?
Stood on the potty before I kicked.
I see passion. I see dealing with loss. Again, talking about those obstacles that kids are going to have to overcome when they go through life. They're not always going to win, but how you deal with it, how you respond to that is more important than any scoreboard that's going to come with it. I got one more for you here. What do we see on this one? Support. Teamwork. Inclusion, that's a big one. I also see guidance here. You have a coach being able to support the next generation with this.
Love.
Love. Beautiful.
Knowing how to lose.
Perfect. So I have no more pictures. I have a myriad of examples if anyone wants to see them. This is my favorite part of this presentation, is just talking through some of the photos that we're able to take. I'll stop here because I'm going to take a drink of water, but I want you to read this quote. you can't, Chris, can you read it out loud for me?
High school athletics was much more than just sports to me. It was a passion, and there truly isn't anything like it. Being together with your teammates every day and putting in the work together to try and succeed on the field or on the court. It taught me many valuable lessons, and it was an outlet for it. It was an outlet for it.
Without high school sports, I wouldn't be the person I am today. And I bring that back because this is one of our scholarship recipients from last year, Gavin Pearson. John Wooden made his quote in the 70s, and sometimes that can seem antiquated, but unfortunately, or not unfortunately, it's unfortunate that it can seem antiquated, but realistically, this is still alive and well today. This is still going on even last year and into today. So I want to bring up the next slide here. 160,000. You might not be able to see that at first, but that's the estimated number of student athletes that compete in IHSAA athletics every single year. I like this photo, I like this because it's a little meta, where you probably first look at the student athletes that are celebrating a soccer state championship, and you might lose a little bit of the amount of students that are actually impacted. If you can say that yes, in all those examples we're talking about of qualities, and how kids can go on to learn and be educated through athletics, then with this number alone, you would say that the IHSAA is the third largest educational entity within the state, behind the Indiana Department of Education and Ivy Tech. So we touch more students than anybody else, other than those two obviously, and make sure that we can instill in them values and characteristics to help them become the next generation of leaders. So the question that's begged from this is, so how do we do that? What can we do? What is we at the foundation, outside of the athletics that go on, be able to support that? These are 5 of our pillars that we stand on today. In this past 2 years, we've awarded over $137,000 worth of grants and scholarships going back to student athletes and member schools. We get those from people like you, yourself, myself, and individual donations. We get them from private grants, public grants, corporate sponsorships, and anything we can do to be able to raise those funds and distribute them back to member schools. I'll touch on a couple things here. We'll go into more detail with it. SAC grant stands for Student Advisory Committee. This is based off the IHSAA's own SAC. There are 18 juniors and seniors around the state that essentially are representations of the student body and make sure that what we put forward is meeting the needs of today's student athletes. Approximately, there's 50% of schools around the state that have these, and so this grant was designed to be able to help meet the needs of those other 50%. How we can make sure that we can implement this for those other schools that might not have the resources and able to do so. So what it does is we award $1,000 to this school. 500 of that goes for them to attend the Student Leadership Conference we host each year. They can network, they can learn how to run an SAC at their school, and I mean, you can go to the racing capital of the world, which I think is pretty cool in my own respect. And the other part of this grant is that we actually give them money to activate it throughout the school year. So this is able to buy pizza and polo so they can feel like a true group and they can host meetings throughout the year. And we ask them to do a community impact project as well. Meridian High School, which I visited not too long ago, they had a great way, new one that I've never heard before. They're actually going into their local middle schools and their youth programs and being mentors. They're being student athlete mentors. They're talking about their experience in high school, not only on the football team and the softball team, but just how they can enroll for classes, where their lockers are, school bus schedules, anything like that. Just giving them someone that's closer to their age. They don't have to ask teachers or their guidance counselors as well, which I think is a great idea. Obviously, there's more you can do with that. Some people do Habitat for Humanity, some do soup kitchens, anything like that, but we ask them to do community impact project. Leadership development is one that we've done for a while. This is really working with the Inside Out initiative, and it's helping administrators find their why. There's a statistic now that's a couple years old, but this is really training the trainers, coaching the coaches, directing the directors, the athletic directors. It's helping them find their why. That statistic I mentioned is that the high school AD, normally his tenure is 3.5 years, or just over 3 years. So what we want to do is we want to help these administrators find their why and why they want to be an administrator. If they're only there for 3 years, they're looking at a lot of time of just making sure they're not going to get fired, making sure the contracts are available and in place, school bus schedule is there, making sure that students are being in the locations they need to be. So how can we help them find their why and what they're doing and really be great leaders in that respect? They're already great, but we just want to help them out a little bit more. The other thing with this is it's looking at whole person. So it's not just a student athlete, it's not just students, not just athlete, but looking at them as a human. So not just physical, not just a player that you can plug in like in Madden, but emotionally, mentally, socially, making sure that they're healthy. Next one we go to is health and safety. This is a little more broad. The way we've done this in the past is we were able to work with the NFH Foundation and award 24 AEDs to schools around the state. Many of you probably know there's legislation right now that schools must have an AED available throughout their campus that's within reach within approximately 3 minutes for the average person. The example that I will give you is we were able to award one of these AEDs to Eastern Greene County. There's not a single hospital in the entire county. They have to go to Monroe County or somewhere else to be able to bring in ambulance if someone is having a heart attack. So having an AED at all of these public locations is critical for the health and the safety of not only the student athletes, but any of the visitors that come through as well for any of their games. More is upcoming with this. We're hoping to announce in the not so distant future just other ways we can help ensure the safety and health of our students. Now, I believe Steve mentioned this, and I'd be remiss if I did not thank every person in this room because we were the recipient of a grant to activate the Officiating 101 curriculum at Southport High School. Southport was the first school with a Marion County address to activate this curriculum. Chris mentioned this at the top. You can see some statistics up there that I was able to pull. In the last 5 years, Marion County has seen a decrease of over 8% of officials. This is combined even more because we're seeing a decrease in the amount of sports a single official is being licensed. So while we might just lose one official, we might lose an official in basketball, football, baseball, volleyball at the same time. So that's losing 4. You can see statewide that's increasing even more at 14%. Pretty soon, if we don't recruit more officials, we are not going to have games. So without officials, there's no games. Without games, there's no learning opportunities for these student athletes that we talked about. So this is of vital importance in what we're doing. So I wish Kyle Armstrong was here today. He's a friend of mine, actually know Steve as well, but he's doing the best priority right now. He's being a dad, so I can't really blame him for that one. But Kyle works with a company called RefReps LLC, which actually activates this curriculum. It's curriculum that goes into a high school, and we're actually teaching someone how to become an official within the curricular day. They learn these skills, they actually get credit towards PE, so credit towards graduation as well. And at the end of it, they get a provisional license from the IHSAA, which means they can do middle school games, they can do youth games, and they're prepared to become a fully licensed IHSAA official once they graduate from high school. No matter if it's a provisional or a regular license, they will receive insurance coverage from us as well, which is huge in today's world. You can see we've had over $330,000 worth of support requested from our member schools just in the past 2 years alone. We're only able to fund a fraction of that, which is why I really appreciate the support here at the Kiwanis Foundation. Moving on, because I know you guys want to be able to ask any questions here. Last things I want to touch on is our scholarships. Each year we award over $45,000 worth of scholarships, and I just want to touch on 2 of our new ones. I talked about our officials not too long ago, so we actually have a new scholarship called the James Robinson Pathway to Officiating Scholarship. This is a way that we can support financially for an individual who wants to become an official, be able to support them in that process as they go on to either college, or as you can see there at the very bottom line, post-secondary expense. Not just college, but if they want to go into the trade school, if they want to do anything else, just anything after high school, that is education. The other one I want to mention here is one of my personal favorites, is the Pris Dillo Seize the Day Scholarship. Pris was the first ever female IHSAA executive committee member. She was she really led the way for a lot of women and able to do this now. And so we are awarding scholarship money to someone that is embodying her leadership qualities and helping become that next generation of leaders. Last couple of things, Impact Awards. This is where we actually celebrate these scholarship recipients coming up here at April 17th. I encourage everyone that would like to join us. You can go to that link below. It'll be at the Colts Practice Facility off West 56th Street. And as I confirmed the other day, we're going to have a special guest. Mr. Lombardi Trophy is going to be there. So if you ever want a picture with the championship trophy, definitely encourage you to come by. It helps support not only the student athletes, but you get a couple cool pictures out of it as well. All right, so that is all I have here for you today. I'll leave this up if you want my contact information. You can scan the QR code to learn more about the IHSAA Foundation as well as the link here, but I'm happy to answer any questions. But again, I just appreciate everyone giving me the opportunity to come up and talk about this new foundation, and really appreciate all the support here of the Kiwanis Foundation as well. Thank you. Any questions?
Trip back to your slide about the decrease in officials. 8%, and I saw 14 for the state.
Yes.
What's happening?
Well, it's a great question. I will tell you the data that is driving it and then my personal opinion. The data that's driving it, as I can say, is that the generation of officials is getting older. There are people that are aging out. I can't tell you the amount of pictures that we receive in our office of someone that is doing their absolute best but is in a walker behind home plate. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, and I am not going to begrudge anybody for that. Obviously, they are in that position because no one else is willing to step up and become that official. And again, if they do not have an official, they can't run these games. And so that is important. We appreciate that. But we are just starting to age out. A lot of the officials are getting to that older generation. We don't have enough young people that are willing to come in. So that's why we're implementing it at the high school to try to give them these lasting employability skills that they can do it at the youth level, middle school, and they can be, employed for the rest of their lives. We will always need officials. And then answer to your question, in my personal opinion, I think there's a lot right now going on with the culture. I think you can look on social media, you can even watch a lot of games, and I will raise my hand and be the first one to admit that if I don't like a call going on at an IU basketball game, I'm a big fan, I will criticize the official, and I am trying to stop it, but it is so hard to do. But I'm also one that's up there, and if I get criticized 24/7, I'm not inclined to do that. So it makes it difficult. Yes, sir.
So my father-in-law is a retired basketball referee.
Yeah.
And that is an experience by itself, going to a high school basketball game where you're there to root for the referee.
I believe that.
That's something. But no, so can you touch on the transfer portal in high school?
I will default to Assistant Commissioner
We
Coffey.
do not have the transfer portal right now, no.
No comment, okay.
Well, we have we're working, our transfer rules are gonna be changing here in the next few months.
Okay.
There's gonna be a one-time transfer, and it's involved, and it's too much to go into today, but the bottom line is, yes, that is pressure that's come from the top down, if you will.
Okay.
College athletics. We do not have NIL either. That is still not permitted under our rules. Okay, so those are two things. The transfer portal and NIL there are two things that are coming top down. Now, the NIL, we don't have as much of a push. There's not a lot of high school athletes that want to or that garner enough attention to make money off their name right now, if you will. I can give you exceptions, Romeo Langford a few years ago. There are some exceptions where I think it could come into play, but it has not.
We were talking about it earlier, I just wanted to put you on the hot seat for a second.
Yeah, that's okay. I appreciate that. And going back to our officials, Tripp's right. I mean, you got to remember the people that, and I grew up with it, and part of the problem is ourselves too. But the bottom line is we had officials that stepped up because they wanted to provide a service to their community. It is a club, if you will, for them. The officials are very close to each other. They're also normally service people. So he had a picture of the official up there when he was having us. James Payne. James is from Fort Wayne, Indiana. He's a police officer. Okay, we have a lot of officials who are police officers because they know how to deal with people. And I think that's a big thing. You got to know how to deal with people if you're going to be an official. I agree with his own personal assessment. We have a lot of them that don't like to get yelled at. It drives people out of the officiating. Parents become way too involved in a game. We have some coaches that we're dealing with that we try to keep them at bay also. But if everybody's thinking about it, I mean, there isn't an official out there that goes out and tries to pick one team over the other. Much like people say in our draw, oh, we've drawn them for the last 3 years, you're doing this on purpose. We go through our draw so fast, there's no way we know exactly who's playing who. And if it happens that you pick the same person, it's just what it is.
So officiating is down.
Officiating's down.
More students playing sports with like the student participation, is that growing at all?
It's kind of flat right now.
Yep.
It grew a few years ago, and then it went down a little bit. It's come back up. We're offering more and more sports. I just came straight from the Colts announced today the girls' flag. The NFL is making a big push for girls' flag football, and one of those things they want us to adopt it as a sanctioned sport, and we have some rules around that. And so they are going to become an emerging sport here in the next month, which means they're going to be in a 2-year window to try to build the sport towards becoming sanctioned. To become a sanctioned sport, you need 100 schools. They have 51 today. There's a good chance that they will get to 100 and that will become an IHSAA sport. So the answer to your question is, I think the addition of some sports could make that go back up. So,
Is there a pay scale for officials that is standard for college or high school? I've always been curious about that. Is it all volunteer or is it?
no, there's not volunteer. We pay, and schools pay, and they pay dearly. It has gone up. Is high school pay to what we pay officials commensurate with what they have to deal with? I'm not sure we're there yet, but we also can't afford to pay them more. College officials get paid very well, okay? And then obviously professional officials.
I was wondering if you could mandate that all officials wear glasses.
I don't know if I'll go there, but your pay thing is interesting because we get some really good, here's the other part of the problem. It's not just our problem and why we're short on officials. We get some really good ones in, and then I'll get a call from the Big Ten, and they'll say, hey, who was the white hat that worked the 4A football game? And he's gone. So we lose them that way too, especially with minorities and women. I mean, we can't keep them in. We train them, they get ready, they do games, and they're gone. But that's just because everybody needs them. And we're you know, there's youth problems too, but we're in the middle of that whole mix. So, yes.
I'm just curious, I hear a lot of conversation about codes of conduct, especially when it relates to parents, who are very interfering when their kids are playing sports. Has there been any conversation at the high school and college level, let's say maybe even junior high, about having courses that talk to people about that? You know, I know that you are who you are, but I wouldn't dare do what I see some people do in a football or basketball situation. I'm not a hockey fan, I don't know soccer, but just those two sports, I'm appalled. And I think there has to be something that you can address that way, because if that's driving officials and referees out of the industry, you know, and the sports are growing.
You're right.
Then what do you do?
And I would tell you that we've actually we've spent a lot of money on sportsmanship campaigns, and we actually did one that was very targeted. Even some people found it offensive, but we targeted parents. We directly targeted them and pointed out poor behavior as part of our campaign and why this doesn't play into what we're trying to do educationally. And we got some feedback, some negative feedback from it, believe it or not. But the bottom line is yes, but it really has to start, and you may agree with me, or it really needs to be on the school level, because that's where the interaction really takes place.
Right.
And those parent meetings at the beginning of the year, things like that. But I will tell you, it is becoming, you know, having come from a school and knowing what goes on, sometimes you just can't get that behavior changed with them. And it is very difficult, because this win at all costs, or I want to do what's best for, it's under the guise a little bit of trying to do what's best for their kid. They want their kid to succeed. We want them to succeed too, but there's ways to do it, and being front and center and protect them isn't a way that they learn and become successful. So there's a national campaign right now. The NFHS, our parent company here based in Indianapolis, has some programs that deal exactly with that right now too.
Is there some?
I wish I could tell you there's a good, it's going to change. I don't know.
Because I haven't seen it.
I think it's lack of civility a little bit in our country right now. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of things that go part and parcel together, but, you know.
My experience is it's not the kids.
It is, you know, you're exactly right. It is not a kid issue. Our kids understand it, and many times they wish their mom and dad would just stay out of it. But they want their kid to be successful. They insert themselves. We see it in transfers. Oh, you're not getting enough playing time, we're going to another school. Instead of fighting through the reason they're not getting enough playing time is maybe they need to work harder, get better. There's a lot of reasons, or how to deal with failure or adversity. Right, absolutely. So, yeah, we are an educational institution. I mean, we run sports, but we're educational by far.
Thank you.
any other questions that come up, I'm happy to answer them, but I think this is my pulling the shepherd's hook. Yeah, a little bit. I understand. Thanks, Steve.
No, I want to thank, let's give a really and I just have to comment at the girls' basketball luncheon a few weeks ago. It was really neat to get to meet Judy Warren, the very first Miss Basketball in the state of Indiana. And I had to comment to her that I never thought about it as a 1984 high school graduate. Girls sports had only been around 10 years, and it's important to support our high school sports programs, and Unified Sports is another fantastic program that really opens up all kinds of opportunities for kids that don't get to participate in other ways. So thanks again to IHSAA and our partners. And Tripp, as our presenter, we want to honor you by making a donation in your name to the Meridian Neighborhood Center. It's a thriving community resource in southwest Indianapolis that provides youth enrichment services, including after-school, summer day camp programming. It supports families seeking help, hope, and better opportunities. And I think we have a certificate designating you as the speaker today. But with that, I want to thank everybody for coming, and we're adjourned.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.